Have you ever finished shooting a video and then once you're back in the edit, you've gone through all your clips, now you're making your final video, you just get the feeling that your video is lacking something, like it's not connecting or you don't have that extra edge and punch to your video, to your clips, specifically to your B-roll. You just feel like it could be more, like it could be better. Well, let me introduce to you video portraits. The term video portrait can be a little confusing and make you pause for a second once you hear it or once you start thinking about it. Usually video and portrait don't completely go together. Usually you're shooting video or you're taking photo portraits. So a video portrait is exactly what it sounds like. It is a portrait, very pleasing shot of your subject on camera looking into the lens. Sounds extremely simple, almost too simple, but let me make the point and show to you how useful and dynamic this technique can be for your videos. So how I was taught and shown to shoot these, and now how I typically always shoot them, is at a high frame rate, so like 60, or what I really like to do is 120 frames, and having my subject centered in frame at a very shallow depth of field. The lens that I really like to shoot it on is a 50 1.2, but I also shoot it on the 35 1.4, and then occasionally there have been times where I've shot it on the 24 millimeter. Starting with the most simple is just having your subject look straight into the camera. Smiling, no expression, it can be whatever you want. Another very simple one is simply just having your subject look down and then look straight into the camera. With the high frame rate and having that slowed down, that can be a really cool look in your videos when there's like a strong statement being spoken in your video, or there's like a really cool transition point. From there, it can be a lot of different things and a lot of fun things. It doesn't have to be just serious. It can be your subject laughing, smiling, pointing at the camera. You take it where you want. A good example of that is at a CrossFit competition a couple years ago, we set up a booth and it was just video portraits. And we probably shot maybe like 200 video portraits of every single competitor in the competition. And it was basically just stand on this line, 1, 2, 3, do what you want. And a lot of them chest bumped, flexed, pointed in the camera, smiled. It turned into a really cool edit because it ended up, we just lined up a bunch of them and put it to some really good music. And it was a social media post that the comp posted. It got a lot of engagement, it was really cool. It put faces and personalities of the athletes out there for everyone. So it just made it very relatable. Another cool option that you can do with this is you can add movement to it or not. So a lot of times, like I was saying, with the tilt head up, it's really cool to almost lean forward as you're shooting. Or you can kind of do an arch around your subject as they are interacting with the camera. You can kind of take this where you want and make it your own way, make it your own flavor. Shooting these can seem a little counterintuitive. I don't know about you, but when I'm shooting video, I like to stay very low key and almost capture things as they're happening and not inject myself, especially because people do get awkward when there's a camera around. It's just natural. But I've learned that when I am stuck and I can't think of anything else to shoot, or I'm getting bored or I'm getting tired, a good way to get the creativity going again, or just get re-engaged in what I'm doing, is by shooting these, is by getting my subject and saying like, hey, we're gonna shoot some portraits, let's loosen up, let's get comfortable on the camera, let's get goofy. So I need you to look straight into the camera and smile or laugh or just be serious. You do have to take into account of what you're shooting. And then that goes into the question of why use these. I think anyone who shoots video for themselves or for a client, the main goal is to make a connection, is to connect with whoever is going to be watching your video. Whatever video I'm making, that's what I'm striving for. I want a connection, either for my client, like I want my clients' clients to connect so that they make money, so they make sales. I want to connect with people so that I get engagement, so I get more business, so I can keep doing this for a living. We all want connection. And this is one of the most simple and easy and effective ways to create a connection with your audience. Your subject is literally looking straight into the eyes of the viewer, of the people watching this video. And it is such a good way for your audience to get into the shoes of the people who are on camera, of the subject. One example that is a little more serious is at the end of last year, I made a video for Travis Manion Foundation, and the subject, his name was Matt. He has stage 4 cancer, and he was just talking about how he served in the military and now how he's dealing with cancer and how he's still serving and still giving back. And in the video, we plugged in a few different video portraits. There was one in the middle at a very key and essential moment, and then there was another one at the very end. And it just made Matt a very human person to the viewer. A lot of times when we're watching videos, the people on the screen, it's almost like they don't even feel or seem human or real. Across the board, I've found this as a useful technique in extremely serious videos with very sensitive subjects where there's lots of emotion, or on the other hand, where people are having a lot of fun and they're engaged and they're having a blast. Whatever kind of video, this has been something that has been dynamic and useful and effective in connecting with the viewer. Now, I do have to give some credit. My buddy Richard Bloomer is the one who taught and showed me this technique in his videos, and working alongside him as we produced several videos. He actually is the one who helped produce that video that I mentioned before with TMF. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope this technique is just another little tool that you can use as you're telling stories through video. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.